Oh, nice. Did you catch this, Rebecca? I've seen actually a couple of these too. A lot of, to your point about community organizing, I've seen a lot of Latina based organizations that are doing a lot of rideshare stuff, and a lot of the posting is in Spanish in much the same way that there's a lot of like church programs for this in the South for like rural black voters who maybe don't have cars and can't get to a voting station. So have you seen a lot of? Because I've seen a few things like this. Have you seen a lot of this?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Not really, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen like I saw a bunch, and I don't know specifically if it's because it's Texas or not, but I've seen like
We come together, the Latinos come together.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of orgs, and it's just because I lived in Georgia for so long, and it was the first time I'd ever heard accusations of busing, of busing people in for polls, and I guess especially down in Georgia, once you get outside of it, like basically south of Atlanta, is just where there's like the airport, shitty farms, and where they're building the nuclear power plant. So it's very rural. And then, of course, to your point, they always close the polling stations in like poorer communities of color and rural communities. And so down there, it's a big thing where churches literally organize like buses and ride shares to go and pick up people. And I saw that there were some states last year that were trying to add in election rules that say like you can't like group ride or you can't like do busing because it's considered like election interference. And I saw that there were states that were actually trying to pass that shit last year. I don't know if anybody got it through or not. Certainly, I hope not. But this is like the whole
Yeah, it almost seems like they don't want people to vote.
yeah, like the barrier to voting thing. Like I have these conversations in almost everybody's chat, and I universally get the same answer, and it's almost always from middle class and lower middle class white people, which is when I talk about barriers for entry for election. Like, if you have to show a driver's license to go vote, then that means voting isn't free unless your state is giving away driver's licenses. You're literally placing an economic barrier upon the right to vote, which is literally guaranteed in every single magic document signed by every old slave owner that formed the country. So, like, if you have to go to, like, a DMV, let's say you have to pay to get, like, I had to pay to get a birth certificate sent to me because I didn't have my original. So, like, I had to pay to get another one made. I had to pay, like, $80, $90 to get one made, then go to the DMV, spend $30 to get a license, then go take a ride share to vote. So now all of a sudden it's costing me $120 to vote, which is fucking ludicrous. Like, sorry, this is a big, like, I consider this a big issue. And again, I was never a big voter. I know, like, Rebecca and I are on the same page on a lot of this stuff. Like, until I moved down south and I met and talked to and became friends with people of color who live in the South. And like the election would come around, I'd be like, oh, well, fuck it. I'm not going to vote because, all these candidates suck. And like I had radical black, like people who were members of like radical black caucus and groups like that. And they were like, nah, man, we're still going to go out and vote. And I'm like, but you just sat here for 2 hours and complained that like your choices are between, a racist and a corporatist. Why would you bother going to fucking vote? And they'll just look at you and be like, dude, my grandfather got beaten walking across a bridge to get the right to vote, so I'm going to go fucking vote. And I'm like, psh, all right, you're right. Then I can't say shit. Like, I'm not saying shit about the whole voting thing. So these are people who are literally like, I know the candidates suck, and I'm still going to go out and vote anyway, because goddamn, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then the very people they're voting for go out of their way to try to pass legislation to make it harder for them to vote. And I'm like at some point, something's got to give. Like,
Yeah, I talked to people on the west side of San Antonio in a very low income neighborhood, and some people I had at least a couple people tell me, no, I don't vote. Like, I will not vote, and I do not blame those people at all. The people who feel forgotten um, or like the system doesn't care about them. It's hard for me to blame those people. You know.
Sorry, I just actually flipped over a page. I've been trying to like keep most of the windows closed, but holy shit, touring news fucking crushing it today. Man, I love touring. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, no, and to the Hackstock's point, it's essentially a poll tax, and that's what it is. Like, you can't say that, everybody is guaranteed the right to vote and then place an economic barrier to entry on voting, because it kind of, that's not what that is. Sorry, it's just a constant thing. Oh, touring got a raid from Lucid. Okay, that's what it was. I was wondering. I saw a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of people who normally aren't on at this time. I guess a lot of people are going to be polling all day, or going to be doing shit all day. This bombed on Act, but I'm so glad I made it. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. David sent me something. All right. Touring got a raid from Lucid. That makes sense. My voting super easy. My polling location was 1 minute from my house. It took me 7 minutes to vote. I got a fun sticker. I made my voice heard. Don't be passive. If you don't vote, you can't be mad at the results. Hey, look, I want you to see. This is the person who said, voting is easy. There's a polling location a minute from my house and it only took 5 minutes. Are you all getting the picture? Are you getting the picture?